everybody. We're back with Anderson Cooper via satellite from Lviv, Ukraine. In moments like this, in huge crises like this, especially overseas, where CNN has the resources to cover a story like this, we look to CNN because nobody does this story better than y'all. But I'm curious, as somebody who's covered a lot of wars, how do you avoid the quote-unquote fog of war? When so much is going on, when there is so much misinformation being spread by the opposing forces, when so much of this fighting is if not guerrilla style, it's certainly non-conventional in their resistance. How do you vet what you're getting? How do you make sure that you're not losing the truth in the fog of war here?
Yeah, and I mean, the truth is, the old saying is the truth is the first victim in war, the first casualty of war. That is certainly the case. It certainly helps to have an incredible organization like CNN with individuals like Clarissa Ward in Kyiv and Alex Marquardt and Nick Payton-Walsh in Odessa and Matthew Chance and all these people who are risking their lives. I mean, I'm in relative safety of Lviv, but to be risking their lives every single day to find the facts and to be going out, seeing what's happening and reporting back. And, Sarah Seidner's at the border and she sees things. She sees, people going the opposite way and she goes up and talks to them and they're, Americans or others who are deciding to fight in Ukraine. And it is old fashioned reporting and it is very brave what they are doing. And I think that's essential because there is so much misinformation. And, we have resources, obviously, with, we all see video on social media. You can now like geolocate video to try to ascertain exactly, is it what the sender of this video is saying it is? But we are devoting a huge amount of resources to covering this from as many countries as possible. And I think that's essential. I think it's, in Aleppo in Syria, in which Russia was dropping barrel bombs, which just obliterate communities. They were able to get away with it because there weren't enough reporters on the ground. There were a lot of brave reporters and a lot of people got killed there as well reporting. But Grozny in Chechnya, in 1995, I was like a freelance reporter, one-man band. I was too scared to go to Grozny because it was just so brutal. The world didn't really see what was going on there on a daily basis. And at least we are all seeing what is happening here. No one can say they don't know what's going on. No one can say that they don't know that Russia is lying to their own people, that they, no one can say that they're not targeting civilians. We have seen this. It has been documented already. It is the thing I think that drives everybody who wants to be here covering this is to bear witness to what is happening. Because there's nothing worse than people dying in silence.
As you say, life in Lviv is relatively peaceful based on compared to the rest of the country, but there are 1.5 million Ukrainians have already fled across the border. 200,000 are internally displaced in and around Lviv, and 50,000 refugees pass through the train station there every day. What are they experiencing as they flee west? What kind of help are they getting right now?
It is hellish for people getting out. If you are in Kharkiv, if you are in Kyiv, just today, Clarissa Ward was at the train station in Kyiv, and, there are trains that come, the scheduling is hard, so people are just waiting around, tens of thousands of people are just waiting around for a train, and when it comes, people rush the train, and, most people are, in Ukraine, people are together and unified, and people want women and children to get on the train first, as it should be, and men have to stay behind. Many men come to bring their wives or their children onto the trains, but these trains are packed. There's too many people trying to get out, so there's no seating, and it can take hours and hours, and then days even getting to the border. If you have a car, you're in line for 24 hours or 48 hours, however long it takes, depending on what border crossing you're trying to make. And you're separated from your husband, your loved one who you're leaving behind. Sometimes it's mothers carrying sick kids. I told you I was at this cancer ward in Lviv where children with really severe cancer, stomach cancer, brain cancer, who were being treated in basements in Kyiv under bombardment, their doctors are saying, look, you got to take your child further west to actually get treatment. And there's no ambulances to take them. There's no, specialized care vehicles taking these kids. It's mothers carrying their kids with really severe cancers on a packed train where they have to just hold on to them and stand for hours and hours. And then they get to a hospital in Lviv and there's still not enough supplies for them. And then they have to try to get into Poland where they can get better care. So it's just awful. It's just awful. Everybody has a story. Every family has been divided. There is so much loss, and it's only going to get worse as this goes on.
On Friday, CNN stopped broadcasting from Russia. What does that mean practically?
I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I've sort of been so focused on here, but, I think there's a lot of news organizations which are now trying to figure out what does this actually mean. The Russian parliament, the Duma, passed this law outlawing, it's a law that Vladimir Putin put through, basically outlawing actual reporting on the war. They don't call the war a war there. They don't call the invasion an invasion. They say that they are not targeting or killing civilians. So any actual factual reporting of it, from our reading so far of this law, it seems like that can be labeled as fake reporting, and therefore you can be targeted and punished, and the reporter can be jailed and for many years. So at this point, as far as I know, that a lot of news organizations have stopped reporting. I think the Washington Post has stopped putting the bylines, their reporters' names on articles. I think everybody right now is trying to assess what this actually means and see where this kind of goes. But it's certainly an indication of Vladimir Putin's attempt to control information. And, I saw this video of this little old lady on the streets in Russia at a protest. And she couldn't have been more than 5 feet tall. She was in her 80s. She held up 2 handmade signs protesting the war, and she was whisked off the streets and arrested by Russian riot police. And to me, it was the most incredible image, because I thought this, Vladimir Putin, who likes to appear, half naked, riding around on a horse or on a, in his black belt doing judo as a tough guy, is scared of an 80-something-year-old woman who is simply standing on a street holding up a sign protesting a war. To me, this kind of a law, it's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of fear. And it's a sign of the reality of the disinformation campaign that Russia wages.
We have to take a break. When we come back, I'll ask Anderson about the responsibility of being a witness to war. Stick around.